You're listening to the Anonymous Advice Podcast. Join Andrew every Monday as he dives into the internet and beyond to give life and relationship advice to complete strangers.
I walked in on my son having sex with my brother's wife. What the fuck? Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Sit back and relax to this not suitable for work podcast as Andrew tackles hard-hitting questions like, should I date my cousin? And why doesn't anyone love me? Welcome to Anonymous Advice.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Anonymous Advice Podcast. I'm Andrew, and happy official almost end of summer. It's September. Wow. It went by pretty quickly, I have to say. But did everyone have a good summer? Everyone go to the beach? Everyone get outside? Did you guys do some summer things? I had fun besides the world imploding on itself, but yeah, I had a good summer, you know? Sort of a fresh start, I say, into fall. I think everyone has a good fresh start coming ahead. I like to think that. And guess what, guys? We made it past episode 1 onto episode 2. We made it past the climb. It's the climb, the hardest part of the podcast. Just getting everything together for the first episode, especially when you're doing it by yourself. You're like, what the hell's going on? I know what to do. Spotify didn't post this right. I got to go back and change things. So we did it. We made it past episode 1. One of my least favorite Star Wars movies. Jesus, I can't believe that's ridiculous. Oh, oh shit. All right, I need to start bleeping things out of here. I just can't do this. Let's just talk and go. I'm going to start saying shit that's annoying, and I got to leave people's names out of some of this stuff. Anyway, well, just in general, I got some good feedback on episode 1, but, I got to do a couple things differently, like maybe shorten the questions so I'm not reading 18 paragraphs and people, fall asleep. I'm a man of the people. Episode 2, it's my first podcast. Give better advice. Get some guests on here. I'm going to get them on. Trying to figure it out now. One more thing. I gotta give it up to the guy, the intro guy, one more time. He looks like John Goodman on Peaky Blinders or Goodfellas, The Godfather. He's just a total badass. Cost me $20. I said, let's just go with it, man. Just roll. And he sent me something back. He's like a professional radio guy. I don't know. I wish I did. Anyway, anyone watching some good TV recently? I watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy. And all I got to say, if you haven't watched Grey's Anatomy, the first couple episodes, or seasons actually, not just episodes, the first couple seasons are amazing. It's all basically amazing. But the one piece of advice I'd give you about that, well, my first piece of advice, again, don't date your cousin. I'm sorry about that. John Goodman lookalike was just out of line there. Second piece, just skip over the episodes with George in them. George sucks. I love Meredith. I love McDreamy. I love McSteamy. I love Yang. I've been on the Yang Gang since 2006 or whatever. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you guys about the show that I saw on YouTube. There's a show that aired around 2008 on Fox, I think. It was called Moment of Truth. You can find full episodes on YouTube. It is the most ridiculous show I've ever seen and ends in divorce all the time. Oh yeah, but for the better advice thing, I can't just say you gotta get a divorce every single time that someone emails me or I read things on Reddit. I can't just say get a divorce. That's a cop-out, right? That's why I need people on here with me. You can't just say get a divorce. Anyway, show called Moment of Truth. It aired for a season and a half, and they had to cancel it because it was so controversial. I'll explain it a little bit. Imagine if you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Remember that show? But instead, the random questions, you have to tell the truth about your personal life, and your friends and family are sitting near you the entire time. If you answer a question wrong, determined by a lie detector, you lose all of the money, and each question you get gets more and more personal. So it's like, question 1, do you like your dad? It's like, yes. It's like, you're telling the truth. Now on to $400, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a very controversial episode on YouTube that I decided to watch because why not? A married woman goes on the show. She's probably 27, 28. She brings her husband, she brings her mom, she brings her sister, and she brings the husband's father. So the husband's there, his father, her sister, and her mom. And they're all sitting near each other on a stage. And in the back of that is another 300, 400 people in the live audience. And so she starts answering questions, relatively softball. Would you steal money from a company if you could? It's like, no, I wouldn't. You told the truth. Everyone goes like, yay, I knew she was She tells the truth. Would you be a surrogate for your sister if she couldn't have kids? Yes. You told the truth. Everyone's like, yeah, let's go, Susie. Now it gets a little bit deeper. Do you know secrets about your father you keep from your mother? Yes. Boom, boom. That's the truth. Everyone's like, woo. The mom's looking, being like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Then it gets more and more. It's like, all right, here's a $50,000 question. And the host is kind of cool. His name's actually Mark Wahlberg, but it's a different one. I don't think he has a job anymore after the show. He tells her, you don't have to keep going. You can take the money now, and you do not have to answer this next question if you don't want to, because this will really ruin your family. So she's like, I want to keep going. I need that $100,000. The grand prize is $500K, and they have to answer like 20 questions. Do you think you should have married your ex instead of Ben? Commercial break. The ex comes out and is like, babe, should you have married me instead? And she says, yes. Everyone's in shock. The sister's like, holy shit, Susie, shut the fuck up. Oh, yeah, by the way, the family has the right to hit a button, and one time in the entire show, they can stop a question from being asked. And this whole thing happens when they go under a lie detector, so they ask them 60 questions, and they tape like 20 of them to the show. So she answers yes, that was the truth. Everyone's like, oh my God. And by this point, the husband is just like, well, keep going. I want to hear literally everything you have to say. I'm going to divorce you. Do you have regrets about getting married? Yes. That's the truth. Yeah, the husband by this time just wants to know everything. Were you cheated on? Yes. That was the truth. It's literally the most uncomfortable thing that I've ever witnessed, I think, on television. And they had to cancel it after a season and a half. And the reason why it was so popular is because it came on after American Idol, like the whole finale one night back in 2007 or 8 or whatever. I would check it out if I were you. It's called Moment of Truth. People that are kind of uncomfortable, it just makes me happy being, I'm so glad I'm not in that situation. Oh, God. All right. Well, yeah, let's get to some questions here. This is, brings May showers. What is that thing? Fall or something? Fall showers, bring May flowers. This is, fresh start for me. Let's go. Let's see if I can give some solid, decent advice in this episode. Not just get a divorce, which I think is good advice for most of this shit. Anyway, here we go. I found my spouse's list, like a list of things of what to get you for the holidays. Grocery list of things that she may want. Let's dive in. All right, I found my spouse's list. It had my name, both ex-husbands' names, a couple of boyfriends' names I remember, 12 other names I didn't recognize, and they were all men. Here's where it's a concern. One of the names is a current coworker. I'm trying to understand the basis of this list. It was on our family tablet that somehow just started to sync to her phone. You know what? What's up with all of this shit? Why does everything sync automatically like that? Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I'm hitting buttons and shit, and it all goes crazy. This is 90% of the problems in this country. Things you don't want happening sync. All right? Not 90%. I'd probably say about 1%. Yeah, dude. You know what this list is. She had how many both ex-husbands? Oh, shit. I'd be worried about the coworker, dude. Especially if it's the most current one. Like, where were you on this list? Maybe it was from best to worst. 15 or 16 names actually isn't too bad. This is a list of guys she's fucked. All right, we don't have to really go into this. I know a few people that keep lists that it's kind of, I don't really keep them. I don't keep a list of anything, but to-do list, maybe. I know a few people's lists that are more than that. When I was a kiddo, I used to be a little jealous. Kept a list at the time, and it was way higher than that, and that kind of pissed me off. It kind of came out, we were out one night, and she was like, wow, someone said their number, which is very high to me, and then she's like, wow, that's around me too, and I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? But thinking back, I shouldn't have been pissed. Like, why? Like, that has nothing to do with me. It was everything in the past, and we were like 27, which I guess is pretty old. and you just, what happens when you're single in your 20s. I mean, mine was basically, that thing where you keep doubling a penny every day for a year? I'm kidding, but I shouldn't have been jealous about that. Both ex-husbands, a few boyfriends you remember. So you were the third husband or just a boyfriend? Here's another thing. I understand a few marriages, once you get into 3 or 4, why even pay for a wedding at that point? She had a couple exes, which is obvious on that list. Like, wouldn't your family be like, all right, fuck, Jesus, we get it. Oh my God. Like, do we have to pretend to think this is going to be forever? Do we have to pretend to be happy for you again? I'm going to get so much shit for this podcast, I swear. Maybe the coworker was before you. This is why you shouldn't, first of all, it was synced, okay? The iPhone or whatever iPad was synced. I don't think you should be snooping around, first of all. You shouldn't be a snooper. But my bad advice is to confront the coworker in a gas station parking lot and threaten him. You're in a tough spot here. You're poking around. I would personally poke around a little bit more. I wouldn't jump to conclusions here. I mean, this could have been a long time ago. How old are you guys? Is this a couple exes, boyfriends? You got to be in your 30s maybe, right? Maybe not. Oh, man. Whoops. I missed a part, too. Oh, gosh. She met the coworker 2 years ago. She's been married for way longer. Shit, dude. I would have to confront her about this. Just admit that you were snooping around. It's synced. I don't know if you're just lying to me and say it's been synced or you're just snooping around, but this is a concern. She's only known her for 2 years. You've been going out for longer than that. This is a list of sexual partners. All right. Yeah. My advice, if you are married, I would confront her, see if you can work it out. If you're not good, I would ask her first, but I'd say good. Don't marry her probably, if that was a thing for you. I don't think it would bother me that much, but this is such a hard question. What are you supposed to do in this situation? Like, if he was number 1 on the list, I'd be like, what the fuck? We have to talk about this. This is insane. But you don't want to overdo it. I would go out to dinner, take her out to, her favorite restaurant, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, anything under the Darden Company or whatever they're called. You just order a couple glasses of wine, talk about work, bring up the coworker. Jeez. Yeah, I would try and go as soft as possible, but you got to confront her about this and, do it in a good way. Do it in a solid way, and you'll be able to do this, man. I have faith in you. But maybe divorce is on the line here. This is a hard one. What is wrong with that answer, everybody? I'm sorry. Look, if you found your partner had a list of the opposite sex that's more than 10 people, and then you see a coworker that is currently in the same office, then you need to ask more questions. Ask more questions. It's always good to ask questions, man. That's my advice. Ask more questions. Take her out to the Olive Garden. Make sure she gets enough salad and breadsticks in her and a couple glasses of Merlot. Then pop the question. Don't ask to marry. Pop the question is, are you fucking your coworker? All right, that's my advice. Next one. Oh, thank God. This one won't end in divorce. Regular customer tipped me in scratch-off tickets. I finally won something, and he's threatening to sue me if we don't split it. Yikes. Hey, everyone, I need advice here. This is happening in Florida. Florida. Very warm down there. True story. I don't know if you guys know this little trick, but I got a tip for you. If you type in Florida man into Google, or Ask Jeeves, or whatever you use, Florida man and then your birthday. So mine is July 18th. So I'd type in Florida man July 18th. It will literally come up with something absurd every day of the year. Let's try it. Florida man July 18th. All right. First thing in Google, Florida man's murder was really elaborate suicide by balloon, police say. I'm going to favorite this and read it later. I wonder how you kill yourself with a balloon. Maybe just tie the string around your neck, call it a day. That would be a way to go. Imagine the movie Up, but he had strings around his neck and everyone's watching in horror. What the fuck? Anyway, all right, back to it. All right, I'm a head bartender at a bar here in Florida. And there's a regular customer that only tips exclusively in scratch-off tickets. He specifically calls to ask what my schedule is at work and asks me out frequently. He's probably 40 years older than me. If you ever watched The Good Place, this guy's in real life Brent. I've never seen The Good Place. What is that? All right, let me check out who Brent is. The Good Place. Brent. Oh, man. He just looks like a guy that would definitely do that. Brent, no. What are you doing, Brent? What are you doing? He doesn't look that old, though. Well, all right, whatever. Back to Brent. So I ended up winning about 4 months of salary from a scratch-off he gave me, and I was making good money. I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want him to feel like I owed him something or feel thankful toward him. That's a good idea. I ended up telling a coworker and eventually got back to him, of course. He came in a day later, congratulated me, and asked me how I wanted to split the money. I told him it was my tip, and he eventually went to the manager, and the manager sided with him. I ended up quitting. Good for you. You got to quit that. The manager gave him my email, and now he is demanding the money, and he's saying he'll sue me. What should I do? First of all, he asks you out all the time, and he's 40 years older. That's basically like me asking out a negative 8-year-old. Like, how does he even ask you on a date? Like, hey, sweetie, what's a dame like you doing at a bar like this? Let's get out of here and ride some penny farthings to the supermarket. All right, that was bad, but that was just an old joke. I don't know if you guys know what penny farthings are. They're those bikes in the 1800s that had that big wheel and then the tiny wheel behind them. Those are pretty sick. Ahead of the times, I think. Also, why did the manager should have sided with you. It seems like if you're a head bartender, it seems like you've probably been there for a while. And he should have sided with you, plain and simple. You got to stand up for your employees. And I think that's one of the main reasons why the turnaround in the industry is so high. It's like, this stuff is annoying. Sided with him, gave him your email. Like, what kind of douche tips in scratch-offs? Like, maybe he's one of those guys who thinks he has bad luck, so he just gives them off. It's like, I don't know. I would not answer his email. I would not respond to his email. I mean, he probably thought this was going to happen eventually and win big. You know, maybe ask you to marry him. I don't know. I doubt he has a yacht of any sort, but that would be cool. Ask you on his yacht and hang around. Sorry, it just looks like Brent in the show is quite the character. He always looks frazzled. Oh, Kristen Bell was in the Good Place? What is this show about? This is weird. I gotta check this show out later. Yeah, I would not. The only way I'd respond is with a lawyer on copy. But the thing is, you don't want to, like, say, okay, 4 months rent. Let's just say it's not 4 months rent, but 4 months pay. What is that? Anywhere from between, like, I don't know, 20K and 30 to 40, maybe, or something like that, if you're making good money. I would not answer him at all. Man, people who tip weird like that, it's so insane to me. Oh, man, I got to tell you this story really quick. Yeah, my advice is don't, unless he, like, subpoenas you or whatever that is. Can you get served somewhere? I don't know, just hide or something. But what's annoying is that your manager gave him your information. I would just ignore him. And then if it gets that serious, just have a lawyer on copy. It was tip money. It's yours. You are being paid through through tips. The majority of your money is through tips. He's giving you a tip in a scratch off, which isn't really a tip, because you end up losing that the majority of the time. Like, you lose the majority of the time on scratch offs, so he's giving you less money. So if anything, that is all your tip money that you deserve anyway. And that's my non-legal advice. Do you like that? Probably not. But that's my advice. Man, I got to tell you something. When I was living in New York, I went out with this nice lady. We went out a couple times. I ended up breaking it off because I'm not the greatest. But anyway, she said she owed me we went out to dinner a couple times. She owed me this time. And I was like, yay, great. We'll go out to dinner. Went to a nice taco place in Williamsburg. I may have to bleep some of this out because I think a few people that I know who this person is. Anyway, we eat the tacos, get a couple margaritas. And this place had like an outdoor, it was 2 stories and an outdoor area. So we're outside, very nice out during the summer. And we get the check. So she's like, I got it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just split it. I know you said you owed me something, but you don't. Let's just split it. And buy me a beer at the next bar we went to. We ended up where did we go? We went to some dog bar. It was amazing. And she said, okay, cool. So we split the bill, split the check, whatever you want to call it. And it comes back, it was like $25 each maybe. And I leave like maybe an $8 tip, I guess. Whatever's like 20 to 25% I leave. And then I see her writing $2 on a $25 tab. That's like less than 10%. I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, what, are you making fun of me for my tip? Are you offended by it? I'm like, a little low. I'm so glad. I ended up scratching out my tip and leaving like an additional 10. I was so glad that she just didn't take care of it and I didn't see it. She would have given like $3 on a $50 bill. Anyway, I tried to call her out on it later, but we went to a bar. She ordered 2 beers and tipped $2 on just cans of beer, which I think is fine. $1 a beer if they're slinging them hard. On a drink, it should be a 20% if you're getting cocktails. Fight me on this, everybody. Email me, anonadvicepodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up. Be a guest, we can talk about it. But yeah, just tip normally, guys. It's easy. Don't tip scratch-offs. You're going to get in this situation. Don't undertip because someone's going to pour some water on your head or something. I don't know. Guy Brent, a.k.a. IRL Brent, you don't deserve a dime of that scratch-off money. So there's my advice on that one. All right, let's keep going. I think I may have one more for you guys today. I think I'm really getting a groove in this podcast. I think sometimes it takes 30, 40, 50, even 60 episodes to really get into a groove. I think I'm almost there. I think I got it going. I know my advice is really bad, and I know I need some guests on here, which I'm going to do, but I think something's going on here. All right, let's get to the next goal. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kidding about all that. Anyway, let's keep going. One more, obviously, for you guys. This one I posted online, and I got a couple good. I got some feedback on this one. I'll give my own personal thoughts, but I think a lot of them sort of nailed it. All right, here we go. My boyfriend wouldn't pay for my meal when I forgot my wallet. Usually on dates, we split the bill. I don't really care, like in the past, I've paid for the full bill, and my ex would pay for the bill the other times. Like we'd go back and forth. My current boyfriend wants us to each pay for what we ordered. From the first date, he said that's how he likes to do things. I'm fine with it. I didn't really care if he wouldn't pay for me. Paying on a date is sweet to me, and I like it, but I have my own job, so it's whatever. I figured maybe he doesn't have a ton of money and he can only cover his own bill. That's a good way of thinking about it. I got to say one thing, may get some flack. Guys, the first few dates, always offer to pay. I don't care what situation you're in. You are asking somebody out, you got to offer to pay. I know it sometimes offends people. I know it does. You just got to do it, and then you got to figure it out. If you guys are getting serious, figure out how you want to manage. You have to pay you don't have to offer to pay all the time. Sometimes she'll end up offering to pay. Sometimes things happen at work where you get a little bonus or something. You want to be nice. You just gotta figure it out. But always offer to pay, especially if they're the one asking someone out. You don't know, they weren't probably going to go out anyway. All right, anyway, back to the question. Anyway, I didn't really have a problem with this, but we went out to some random spot. It was like a local Chipotle. It tastes way better, though. Oh, get out of here. I don't trust this girl anymore. Better than Chipotle? Well, get off of that farm-to-table bullshit. Chipotle's amazing. I crave it every single second. Anyway, tastes a lot better than Chipotle, though. So we went down the line, and he got his own meal. I ordered mine, and then when I went into my bag, I realized I forgot my wallet at my house. I told him that I forgot it by accident. I thought he'd offer to pay, and I'd pay him back, but he was like, oh, that sucks, and sat down to eat. I was just like, what the fuck? This guy standing behind me in the line paid for my food, and I paid him back through Cash App. After we ate, I lied and said my mom needed me to come home from something, and our date was cut short since we were both supposed to go to shopping in the city. How messed up is that? Like, why is he so cheap? A random stranger paid for me and you wouldn't. Yes, that is really messed up. How old are you guys, first of all? Oh, you're young. So he's 21 and you're 20. Yeah, he probably doesn't have a lot of money. But anyway, if you're going to some farm-to-table organic Chipotle and he has enough to pay for him, you left your card, he says, oh, that sucks, and sits down to eat, why the fuck would anyone want to be that guy? First of all, he's got to take some advice from whoever. If he told this story to his dad, the dad would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, boy? Who did I raise to be this guy? Most of the people that I know would be the stranger to pay. I would do that 100% of the time. I mean, I start going broke after a while. And I understand that he wants to split everything. He said that from the start, and you're on the same page. But if you just forget your wallet and you won't pay at all, like what that is a huge red flag for future things. Like what if you eventually move in together? You have to split everything 50-50. Now this is it just depends. Some people want to split things 50-50. Some people, it depends on their salary. And you don't really know how much someone's making until sometimes you got to hack into their bank accounts and read their statements. But that's another time. Yeah, this just shows what type of personality this guy has. And I don't know if it's just him being cheap, but this is a major red flag if he doesn't help you out like that. You want somebody to help you in a situation like the stranger did. You want that type of person. There's way better people out there for you. You want a personality of the stranger guy, right? That's the type of person that you want to date. That'll help when things come up. If you get let go from your job or something, he won't split. He still wants to split things. Yeah, you don't want to date this guy. You got to break up with him. Good for you. You lied and said your mom needed you to come home. That's what a great thing. Here's what I would do. I would break up with him. Much better guys out there for you. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. I'll be back next week. That's my advice.